Hi, welcome to Happy Tales. I'm Cheryl Rosenthal, Communications and Education Coordinator here at the Oshkosh Area Humane Society.
And I'm Joni Geiger, Executive Director.
And today, Joni, our show is all about tips and tricks.
You betcha.
We're going to learn some cute little things that we can do to make life easier for our pets and for ourselves. And here with us today to start us out, we're going to meet some of our staff, let the community know that we have a lot of really great people working here at the Oshkosh Area Humane Society. And Danielle is here with us this morning to tell us about 2 tips for dogs. Now, obviously, if you're doing tips for dogs, you must have dogs at home.
Yes, we have 2 dogs at home, 2 black labs.
2 black labs. And how old are they?
They are 9 and 10, well, almost 11. So,
oh my goodness, so
yes.
Older dogs.
Yep.
And what are their names?
We have Fester and Toby.
Fester and Toby, okay. And so what are your 2 tips for us today, Danielle?
My first tip is to make sure if you have larger dogs that you have a larger, or something that is lifted up for them to eat. It makes it easier for their digestive system when they're eating, so they're not hunched over while they're eating their food and water.
Okay.
And then, sorry.
Go ahead.
My other tip is make sure that you walk your dogs every day, even though it's cold outside. They don't care. They just need their exercise.
Okay, what happens if we don't exercise the dogs? For example, here at the shelter, we exercise our dogs every single day. Why is that important?
They're going to get lazy otherwise.
Well, they're going to get lazy, and here at the shelter, it's very stressful because they don't have anything else to do, and so it really keeps their metabolism going.
Yep.
So it's really important that they have exercise every single day, and exercise is also good for. Besides our dogs, who else is it good for?
Our cats
Our
and
cats
us.
and us.
It's good for us too.
I will say, if your dog is fat, it could be an indication that maybe we're a little overweight too. So it may be a good idea. So those are 2 really great tips.
Yes, they are. Thank you,
So
Danielle.
thank you.
All right.
Well, Joni, our next guest is Christy, and she is one of our dog walkers, a volunteer, a very good volunteer here at the Oshkosh Area Humane Society. Thank you for coming this morning. What tips do you have for us about dogs or cats?
Dogs, one of the best things that I can tell you is switching out toys for them. A lot of people have like 6,000 toys around their house and they're bored with them. So by kind of having separate toys in different, baskets or whatever, put some away and get some back out, and then you can rotate them out here and there to keep dogs interested, because if you notice, they're probably laying around your floor and they get bored with them, chewing on your shoes and all those fun things. That way you won't go poor going to the pet store.
So it's kind of like children. Oh, yeah. I have the same toys. This is boring. This is boring. So put some of those toys away, haul them out at different times, rotating the toys. So that old toys sometimes become new toys.
Fun and new.
Okay,
yep.
Good.
And on the same note of toys, there's lots of interactive toys like Kongs, Buster Cubes, like a Kibble Nibble, that actually you can stuff like toys and treats and things like that into them. Then they can actually kind of toss them around and work on getting those out rather than scarfing down an entire bowl of food in 30 seconds. So it kind of gets their mind stimulated rather than just, 30
So using one
meal.
of those cubes or a Kong to actually feed your
Yeah,
dog?
yeah.
So that they have the fun of getting to the food. It takes more time.
Yep.
And it gives them something to do.
Yep, and if you put like a little canned food or peanut butter or something, that can kind of really get them excited about it for the first couple of times.
Well, and I think that's really great mental stimulation too, because obviously a lot of people talk about the importance of physical exercise, but we really need to mentally exercise our dogs as well.
Right,
So.
especially this time of year when the average person isn't walking nearly as much as they probably would. So.
That's a good
and
point.
those puzzle toys, I've seen some of those where you put the treats in there.
Under and they nose them around. Yeah, so there's lots of different things if you go to the pet store,
I think it's amazing how quickly some dogs can figure those out.
Right.
And then I think you can also gauge sometimes the hardness, the difficulty of those particular toys by a different setting.
Right, depending if you got a big chore or not.
Yeah, those are great ideas.
Yep.
Thank you.
Sure,
Thanks,
not
Christy.
a problem.
Appreciate it. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
being on.
Well, Joni, we're here with Ann. Ann is one of our employees. She works the adoption staff. She is normally at the dog desk, but today she has agreed to give us a tip on cats.
And the tip today is going to be getting a cat into a carrier. Sometimes cats aren't too happy about going in a carrier. So today we're going to try to show you a way that might be a little more successful for you getting a reluctant kitty into a carrier.
And every cat is different. Some like to go in, some don't. Sometimes you get them in and then you can't get them back out. So, all right, so what's the tip here?
The first tip we're going to try today is putting the cat in bottoms up. So we're going to tip the carrier on its end. So the opening is facing up, and then we're going to get a willing kitty. Come here, meow.
Or maybe not so willing.
Or maybe not so willing.
Okay.
And we're going to take Meow and we're going to hold him so he feels secure. And then we're going to
Grab his hind legs.
grab his hind legs and lower him into the carrier. And shut the
Close
door.
the door. Wow.
And that makes it a little easier for a kitty that might not be too happy about it. And then, of course, when you're going to put it flat, you want to go nice and slow so
Very
the kitty
slowly.
doesn't get tipped and scared.
So the kitty can right himself, and he's good to go.
Good to go.
We are back with Anne and Venus. She is just a beautiful Rottweiler. She's about 10 months old, I believe.
just a puppy.
And Anne, I think you have another tip for us.
I do have a tip. And this tip involves, every once in a while as dog owners, we find that there's a time when we need a little more control over our dog than we were expecting to need. The sudden squirrel that the dog just can't resist, or you encounter another dog that's maybe not being helpful to your dog. And it's a quick control method that if you've got a leash, you have it handy. And it's sort of a leash wrap under their belly. And the way to do that is, if Venus will cooperate, she's got a lot of rambunctious energy. Come here, Venus. Come. And the dogs don't like it that much, but it works wonderfully and it doesn't hurt them. And you're going to take the leash and you're going to wrap it under their belly,
So I'm going to grab it under her belly.
back towards her hips, and then you're going to put the leash end through like this, just a quick kind of a little crisscross. It's not a tie, but it anchors it just a little bit. And then with sort of a back harness, then it's a kind of a
kind of
harness
a-
on their hip end.
A tummy tuck.
And that will give you a great control. So you can see already she's pulling way less.
So there's a little pressure on
Little
her stomach.
pressure gives you control in a quick control when you don't have to have any other.
Yeah. And obviously, it's uncomfortable, and normally a dog would be moving forward
Right.
with a situation like this, but because we're just standing, I
Right,
think
this
it
is
feels a little
difficult.
awkward.
And,
Yep.
Right, and I found that this was very handy for me. I was in an incident, I was trying to get to my car, a dog came out of nowhere, my dog was unruly, I did this, and I had just enough, it gave me enough control to get my dog to the car and out of that situation. So
Right.
it works really well.
Right, it's a quick fix for a temporary
Situation.
pulling situation, especially when you get a big, strong dog like Venus.
Well, and honestly, I have a bad back, so truth be known, if I mean, I can just feel my back breaking in two just looking at this.
Absolutely.
And the truth is that
Come on, Venus.
this is really a quick, just like you said, very quick, very easy, simple to use if you're walking your dog and you need some extra control.
That's
And
right.
Look at how
Perfect.
much,
Yes.
much quieter
Yep.
she is right
Absolutely.
away.
Yes, and for a 10, 11-month-old pup, that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
a great tip. Everybody can use that with they're on a walk, because your dog is on a leash. Not a good idea if you have a retractable leash.
No.
Oh,
And
thank you for
retractable
saying.
leashes are
thank you.
probably maybe never really a great idea.
Right. Retractable leashes can be jerked out of your hand too quickly. Just not
Yeah,
not
thanks.
really a good
Thanks for
idea.
mentioning that. Absolutely, never with a retractable leash.
Right.
Yeah.
With a regular flat.
This is a regular flat leash.
Right.
Absolutely,
All
not a
right.
chain leash. This is just a regular flat canvas leash.
Right, and
Right.
it's easy to get off. When you're done, you just,
Yep.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Well, that is a great tip. Thank you so much, Anne.
You
We
are
really
welcome.
appreciate it.
not
Okay.
a problem. We're
All
glad
right.
to help. Come on, Venus.
All right, we are back with another staff member. This is Jessica, also known to us as Jess. She is one of our caregivers, and she is going to give us a couple cat tips and medically related, I think. So,
I will
what are
try.
your tips for today?
Today, I am going to show you how to effectively try to give your cat medication. And we are going
Keyword being try.
some cats are easier than others, and I have found for me, when I have to give a cat a pill form medication, first of all, make it very positive. Lots of loving beforehand. As you can see, Meow Meow definitely enjoys that part here. And you want to put his butt against your tummy and kind of hold his back up against you.
Okay.
Hold him firmly under the chin. Obviously, you don't want to strangle the poor guy. Take your pill, in this case, a little piece of cat food, prop open his mouth, and Meow Meow's going to give me some trouble.
Well, and I think this is important to note because this is
This is
normal.
normal.
This is
This
nor-
is
yes.
normal.
This
I mean,
is-
if we, we could do an easy guy, But the truth of the matter is, and I know you have to talk and do this at the same time. So what I'm going to ask you to do is just do it.
Just do it,
And then
okay.
explain to us what you've done. Okay. Besides the string.
Besides the restraint. Let's try it this way. Okay, Meow Meow's not going to be pilled today.
Now that we've had Meow take off on us and we're not going to be able to pill this cat, this is pretty typical. I mean, this happens to, isn't it nice for people in our listening audience to know that this happens to us and we're so professionals.
Well, and I think that's, because we had the option, obviously, to start all over, but, we chose not to because this is really what happens. People really have these struggles and these problems. So we're going to talk about now what do we do?
Now what do you do? If you have a cat that absolutely will not let you put a pill down the way I was showing you, 2 options. You can always try with a second person to hold the cat to just really, really give you the security that the cat's not going to get away. If biting becomes an issue, you can always try wrapping the cat in a blanket and holding him baby style so he can't flail and use his legs to get away. And if all else fails, there's always the option of calling your vet back and asking for a liquid medication, which typically goes much faster, and you just pop the mouth open and squirt a little liquid in the mouth.
Yeah.
Now, if your cat is maybe really likes canned food, is it possible to take a very small, small dime-size amount of wet food, put the pill in the food, but stand there with the can so that the cat knows if I eat that, I'm going to get more? So is that another possibility of getting a pill?
Yes, you can always try treats, same as with dogs. A lot of cats are treat motivated. You can try it in canned food. If the pill's crushable, you can crush it between 2 spoons and sprinkle it in the food. Some pills get very bitter when that happens, though.
I was going to say, I've tried putting a crushed pill in wet food and my cat won't touch it.
Right.
But I have found a small amount of food with the whole pill stuffed in it. He wolfs that down knowing that, she's standing with the can, I'm going to get more. And then I immediately put more in the dish and make sure that the pill is gone all the way down.
Here at the shelter, we do use the treat method quite a bit because it can cause some unneeded stress on a cat if you are giving them medications twice a day and different people are coming in constantly. So
I'd like to kind of back up. Let's use a cat now and let's pill that cat.
Okay.
Let's show them how your technique of holding it against the body and so on and so forth.
Let's find another
All right.
kitty. We're going to try this one more time.
one more time. Here we have Schmitty, and we're going to try one more time. Once again, put their hinders up against your belly and hold them securely against your belly here. Lift up her head, pop open her mouth, and right down it goes.
Super. Okay.
There we go.
So
Awesome.
what did you do back here?
Yep,
like
you
this?
pinch right at the hinge of the jaw, and it kind of forces that jaw to pop open, and it gives you a little bit of control. And obviously we've been doing this for many years, so we know to go real quick.
Right.
But the faster you get it down and the farther back in the throat, the quicker the cat swallows.
And-
So once you
that's
make that
important, too.
decision, once you've made that decision to open that mouth and put that pill in, do it quick.
Do it quick.
Yeah.
Don't,
Quick.
yep.
Don't
And
go,
you said
"Oh,
further back.
The further back
Yeah,
on the
you
tongue,
don't want
because the further back you get it on the tongue, it's going to initiate that natural swallow reflex.
So you're kind of, and you're also watching for your kitty to lick their nose because that means they've swallowed.
It. Correct.
Did I see you do something like this too?
You can rub their
Massage the
throat, or you can also blow on their nose to get them to swallow as well.
Sounds
Okay.
good. All
Super.
right.
Well, thanks,
So,
Jess.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, we have another tip
Yes.
that Jess is going to do.
I'm
And
going
that
to trim nails.
Trim nails. So what's a way to trim nails if you're all by yourself and you have an unruly cat?
If you have a kitty that is not fond of nail trims and doesn't want to sit on your lap, you can kneel on the floor and put the kitty between your legs and kind of kneel over the top. And then what you want to do is you want to lift that leg just high enough above the kitty's head, because a kitty can't reach it back above their head. And then you can trim, and the kitty can't fight you or bite you or scratch or
Can
get
we
away.
try
So
that?
can we, let's get a kitty
let's
and
do it.
we're going to try that. All right, we are back and we have Ruby Rose here. And this is how I do my kitties at home, so I can do my cats by myself. So Jess just has the cat between her legs, and she's not sitting on the cat. She just has the cat braced between her legs. Yeah.
Come here, Ruby.
Wiggler, wiggler. There we go.
Okay, so
And then you're going to lift her paw up.
And she won't let me get it above her head.
But that's okay.
But she's allowing, and really, this looks like a lot of restraint, but this is less restraint for the cat being kind of backed in a corner. And as I said, Jess isn't sitting on her. She just has her a little pressure between your legs as you're kneeling
Now,
on the ground.
would you take a break now with this situation, let her kind of calm down, and come back later?
I would-
I noticed you got most of her feet done.
I personally, for me, if I've started on one foot, I will finish that one foot and then give the kitty a break. I won't do one and then let them go, because the kitty will eventually learn that the faster we lay here and just do this,
Right.
the easier it's going to be, and I'll
Okay.
be
Right.
out of it before
Okay.
I know it.
Okay.
So before you let them go, you make them stop struggling.
Yes.
Because
Yep.
if you let them go as soon as they're struggling, it tells the cat, oh, if I struggle sooner, I
Yep.
get let go.
Yep.
So don't let them go until they stopped struggling.
Yep. Whether you do one foot at a time, or
Or
with
all
Ruby
of them.
Rose, I got the 2 front ones done.
Right.
And then I held her
Yeah.
and let her say, okay, just a second, and then let her
Right.
go.
Okay.
I see you were really fast at that. I mean, obviously you've been doing this a long time. I mean, you literally had those 4 nails in front done. Like within, 2 seconds. I mean, boom, 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 boom. So she actually, you finished her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Her front ones were done.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
So
and
okay.
that comes with practice and,
Yes.
and knowing, how, where you're cutting and
Right.
those types
Yeah.
of things.
Yeah.
So,
So-
patience, I think,
Patience.
is the key.
And the thing to remember, kitties are different than dogs. Their quicks do not grow out with their nails like dogs do. So even if you go a month between trimmings, you don't have to really worry about that quick unless you are planning on cutting way back.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. So and I think it's interesting too that we're willing to acknowledge the fact that a lot of these animals don't sit here and cooperate, and they're just not they're not perfect Lassie and Garfield kind of
Right.
animals.
Right.
These are guys that just like people at home struggle with their own pets, we do too. These guys don't know us. We're handling strange animals. We're strange to them. So it really can be a challenge
Yep.
in these types of situations. So thanks, Jess. I really appreciate it. All right.
We're back down to just the two of us, Joey.
Yes, we are.
Couple of tips. I get calls from people that they don't like their cats on their countertop.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing you have to realize is cats like to be up off the ground.
Yep.
It is unrealistic to keep them off of high places.
Right.
You also need to make sure that your countertop is not an inviting place, not a place where you leave the butter or the bread or toys or any of those things that entice them. But if you're still having a problem with your cat getting up on the countertop, you can do...
And a lot of people can just say no, right?
Right. Yeah,
I mean,
you can say
and
no.
some cats respect that.
And one of the things is sometimes the cat, you'll be making food and the cat jumps up and you pick the cat up and put the cat on the ground. I prefer people not be quite that nice. And I don't mean that in impolite way. You're not going to do anything that hurts the cat, but let's say that this is the cat and the cat jumps up here. Instead of me picking up the cat and nicely putting it on the floor, I'm going to take my elbow and go, off, down, no, whatever. So you're pushing the cat off, so the cat physically has to get off. And I'm using my body language to tell
Right,
the cat that
right,
that is not acceptable. Picking the cat up, for some cats, you're busy making food, I want your attention, and even that negative attention of picking them up and physically putting them down,
It's attention.
I got your attention,
Yeah.
where this is, well, that isn't, I'm
Right.
not going back up there because she
Right.
just kind of brushed me off. So nothing abrasive,
Right.
but firm enough so that the cat gets the message that, I don't like that, stay off my counter. Now, the best correction for a cat is what I call a remote correction.
Right.
And so when you're not home, guess where your cat's going to be? On the countertop.
On the countertop.
So these
Waving
are not
goodbye as you drive out the
there you
driveway.
go. These are not cookie sheets, but if you have cookie sheets,
Sure.
you can use cookie sheets, or if you have a jelly roll pan. Some people can use jelly roll pans and put water in them because cats jump up there and there's water and they don't like their feet wet. I personally like the cookie sheets, and so this would be like a cookie sheet, and I set it partway off of the counter, and I'm going to set cans either on the edge or back, and then what's going to happen, and I'm going to move around and do this, this can has pennies in it, and you're going to do more than one. You would do like 2 or 3 on each cookie sheet. The cat is going to jump up here and jump here. This is going to fall, and it's going to make a noise,
Right.
and it's unstable.
Right.
And the cat immediately goes, whoa, never jump up there again. It's an unstable surface.
Right.
I don't like that. So
Right.
it doesn't trust the surface. Now, Joni, you had a tip to go along with this.
Right, and my tip was basically the same, kind of the same scenario. You use the cookie sheet, okay, but you also create kind of a false front, because some cats are kind of like, gee, that looks different than what I'm used to. You
Yeah.
know, they don't necessarily see that. And some people use, you know, they might put a tablecloth over the top of their table,
Okay.
or whatever the case might be. So if you kind of create this little false edge that you've got going on here, and just like Cheryl says, you've got the stuff here. And remember, this is a cookie sheet, so we got metal here.
Yeah,
And if,
so it's
you
going
know,
to make more of a bang.
it's going to
when it
make more of a
falls.
bang. So you've got this thing going on here where the kitty might respond to just jumping up, and just like you said, Cheryl, it's kind of the same thing. And cats, I call it, this is why cats have 9 lives, because they're so curious and they're always trying things. And of course we can try, yeah, there we go. We can try anything, but it's the same scenario. They jump up this, and obviously everything just goes to the floor.
Right.
And it's like,
And it
Cheryl
startles
says,
the cat,
it's-
and they're like, whoa, I'm never doing this
Right.
again. I
You
don't
can
like
also
that.
use double-sided sticky tape.
Yep.
You know, if again, remote
And
correction.
consistency is the key. You can't decide, I don't want my cat on the countertop, and then all of a sudden, because you have dogs, you decide, well, I'm going to feed the cat on the countertop.
Right.
You're sending a mixed message to
Right.
the cat. So be consistent with those types of corrections. So countertop jumping, or, you know, again, make sure that it's not a welcoming place. And understand, if your cat is jumping up, my cats jump up on my kitchen counter for one reason. They're jumping up by my sink to look out the kitchen window.
Right.
I solve that by, I have a window in another room that has the same view. I put a cat tree there. They don't have to jump up by the sink anymore. They have the same view in the dining
Right.
room.
Absolutely.
So figure out, why is your cat finding the countertop inviting?
Right.
And use those remote corrections so that they're not associated with you. A lot of times people will use a squirt bottle.
Mm-hmm.
A squirt bottle, who's going to squirt the cat when you're gone? So the cat learns very quickly, well, I'll just get up there while they're gone, or I'll scratch on the furniture while
Right.
they're gone. So cats are very curious. Some cats love to chew on cords. They
Or
love
dogs.
to chew, yeah, dogs.
Puppies, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Puppies. I had puppies at my house that decided my cupboards were a great chew toy. And one of the things that I found is I went and I got my Dawn dish soap. I prefer the blue. Don't ask me why. I like the blue. It seems to work the best. I put a little Dawn.
Sprayer, you know, what the hey.
I put a little Dawn dish soap in a cup or a dish or anything that I have,
Mm-hmm.
and this is kind of messy. And so you get it on your fingers, and you're going to smush it around on your fingers, and then anywhere that your kitty's been chewing or your puppy's been chewing, you're going to run your hands across this cord. This is not going to hurt your carpeting or your woodwork or
No,
anything.
right. Good
And
point.
it's going to dry, and if the kitty or dog comes up to it, they're going to smell this. Even when it's dry, they can smell this,
Right.
and they're not going to like the smell. But even if they like the smell or they get too close, they're going to get that on their
Yeah.
nose or in their mouth, and they're going to go,
Yeah,
ugh, bad.
absolutely.
The other thing is, I've done this with my kitchen cupboard, my wooden cupboard, the side of my cupboard, and it's the corner of my cupboard, and the puppies were chewing on the corner. I just took Dawn dish soap and
Wow.
put a light coating of the Dawn dish soap on my varnish. Now, if you don't want it, you know, you may want to, even if you can, you first of all want to make sure that, you know, that you're not going to damage your finish at
Sure,
all. But
right.
if you have a Formica, or, you know, check on that. But here again, it deterred my puppies from chewing
Right,
on my
yeah.
woodwork. So great thing for cords. Also great for if you have cats that are chewing on your plants. Put a little bit of
Yeah,
Dawn dish
very
soap
true.
on your
Good
plants.
point. That's a really
On
great idea.
Any artificial, I do it on artificial plants that I have. Dawn dish soap is a great deterrent. And then, of course, you need paper toweling to clean off your hands. But I have found that the blue Dawn dish soap is a great deterrent, and it's not toxic
Right.
to your pets. They're not going to get enough of it that it's going to make them sick.
Okay.
And it's not going to hurt, you know, anything that it touches. So
Sure, sure. This is really a great idea, you know, because a lot of people don't think that cats maybe chew, but they do.
Yep.
They do like to
they
chew
love,
on things.
they
Yeah.
love phone cords
Yes,
and
absolutely.
computer wires and
Sure.
all those wonderful things.
Yes.
And especially during those holidays when you're using more lighting.
Right.
You just want to make sure that you're keeping your cats and dogs safe from the electrical cords.
Super.
Because they can get electrocuted.
let's real briefly talk about the fact that potted plants, cats defecating or urinating in potted plants. It's kind of a natural behavior. What should people do?
When you water your plant, Joni, it activates the soil, and that smell permeates the air, because you got to remember your cat smells 14 times better than you do.
Right.
And it just kind of, that smells like a nice place for me to go to the
Digging
bathroom.
in the dirt, yeah.
So, foil, but in addition to the foil, I suggest that people put nice size rocks on top of the foil, or instead of the foil, you can just use nice size rocks that they're not going to be able to dig out of the plant.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
So cover the top of that plant. And then again, you can use that same tip, put a little on that foil that's overlapping the, because you can poke holes in the foil so you can water your plant.
Sure.
But then on the foil that overlaps your pot a little bit, put a little bit of that Dawn dish soap, to be a deterrent.
That's a great
Even
idea.
try Dawn dish soap on the perimeter of your pot, the top of your pot. Nothing that's going to get into the
Soil,
potted
right.
soil, but on the outside of it to make it less inviting to your kitty.
Because you said they can smell it.
Yep, they smell that dirt. It's just a natural instinct for them to want to dig around and go to the bathroom in a natural substrate.
Yeah.
And that's what potting soil is to them. So take care to cover that up and make it less inviting to your kitty. And if your kitty is using your potted plants, maybe their litter box isn't being kept clean enough. So try scooping more often.
All right.
So-
Good tip, Cheryl.
All right, thank you.
We are set.
Well, I think we are just about out of time, and so we hope that you found that our tips and tricks were very helpful, and you enjoyed meeting some of our staff here at the Oshkosh Area Humane Society. And so in the meantime, happy tales to you.